This is Carnival 24's Caribbean update on the coronavirus, and also we're going to tell you about how an island in the Caribbean has provided aid to China to battle the effects of the virus. Currently, at the time of this video, there are 82 reported cases of Covid-19, more commonly known as the coronavirus, in the Caribbean. To give you an idea of what that means, the Caribbean region as a whole has a combined population of 44 million. This means that at the moment, less than 1% of the people currently within the Caribbean have caught Covid-19. As a comparison, currently Spain, with a population of 47 million, has 11,409 confirmed cases, and South Korea, with a population of 44 million, has had 8,320 confirmed cases. Currently, many islands have taken steps to reduce the possibility of the spread of Covid-19. Aruba, Bahamas, Jamaica, St. Lucia and Trinidad and Tobago have placed a ban on entry to UK travellers. Antigua and Barbuda and Montserrat have placed a ban on entry to travellers who've recently been to China, Iran, Italy, Japan, South Korea and Singapore. Grenada have placed a ban on entry to travellers who've been to China, France, Germany, Iran, Italy, Japan, Singapore, South Korea or Spain in the last 14 days before arrival. In Barbados, they've implemented a mandatory quarantine of 14 days for any travellers that have recently visited Iran or northern Italy in the last 14 days before arrival. St. Vincent and the Grenadines have placed a ban on entry to travellers who've been to China, Italy or Iran in the last 14 days before arrival. Turks and Caicos have placed a ban on entry to travellers who've been in China, Iran, Italy, Japan, Macau, South Korea or Singapore in the 21 days before arrival. In the Cayman Islands, cruise ships have been banned for 2 months, with a ban on travel from EU countries as well as Japan, Korea and Iran. And Anguilla has said that all passengers arriving from the UK and Europe will be quarantined for 14 days following assessment on arrival. Whether we've mentioned an island you follow closely or not, each of the islands have taken the steps they deem necessary. So if you're planning to travel to or from the Caribbean or have family and friends within the Caribbean, we recommend you visit the Caribbean Public Health Agency website to stay on top of what's happening. And finally, in a little known story not published by mainstream news agencies, Cuba is hoping to lead the fight against the effects of the coronavirus. Integral to reducing the number of deaths is an antiviral drug called interferon alpha-2b. Interferon alpha-2b was first developed in 1986 by a team of Cuban researchers from the Center of Genetic Engineering and Biotechnology, otherwise known as the CIGB, in Cuba, and then introduced into the Cuban health system. According to Cuban biotech specialist Dr. Luis Herrera Martinez, interferon alpha-2b prevents the aggravation and complications in patients showing the symptoms that ultimately can result in death. Once research was completed, it was agreed to be produced in China in partnership with the state-owned Cuban pharmaceutical industry since 2003. Interferons are signaling proteins produced and released by the body in response to infections, and they alert nearby cells to heighten their antiviral defenses. So while it's not a cure or vaccine to Covid-19, it is an antiviral that works by boosting the human immune system. The interferon alpha-2b has been used many times to effectively fight outbreaks of dengue fever and other infections. The Castro government was actually forced to develop a strong pharmaceutical industry because of the US trade embargo imposed by the then US President John F. Kennedy in 1962, which is technically still in effect now. Despite confirming its own first cases of Covid-19, Cuba is continuing to export its medical professionals to the rest of the world to help with the global pandemic. Yesterday, Jamaican Health Minister Christopher Tufton announced that 21 nurses from Cuba will be arriving soon, the first of more than 100 to be soon deployed. And Cuba has also sent doctors to help other nations such as Italy with the outbreak. So, that was our report. Stay safe, be responsible, and we'll see you at the next update. This is Garvey Campbell, and you have been watching the Carnival 24 report.